everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie and I'm the blogger behind brighterdarling.com. But today we're doing a foundation wear test, obviously, on the newer NYX Cosmetics Total Control Pro Drop Foundation. So this has been out for a few weeks now, not terribly long. I have shade beige. Everything that I use today will be listed in the description box if you're ever curious, but to kind of give you an insight onto what this formula is, who this is for, what the story is behind it, in case you're completely unfamiliar. What really initially attracted me to this foundation was, one, the price point. It's $14. Two, it says it's clean. Now you guys know I'm on this clean journey, like really more, you know, I do try and use things that are not super duper clean, but that is like where my heart is. Like I'm very more aware of the ingredients that are in my products, so I do tend to want to use clean products on a daily basis for the most part. So to kind of give you the gist on this, it said it was clean, right? So I was like, ooh, okay, clean, great. It says it's 100% vegan, cruelty-free, certified by PETA. It has no sulfates, no preservatives, no mineral oil, and no nasties, which whatever, that's just something they threw on there. The other things that they have claims for in this foundation is that it's a buildable coverage from sheer to full. With this dropper, it's supposed to be pretty long wearing, up to 12 hours, no transfer. It's not supposed to look ashy, cakey, or greasy. And yeah, they do have a lot of skin tones. I'll have to link it down below how many. It is sold at Ulta, that's where I got mine, but you can also get this on NYXCosmetics.com, and they have a lot of promotions always going on, whether it's a sale or free, you know, full-size product with the purchase, so that's nice. I think right now it looks like they have 20% off your order, so that's nice. And you get a free lip gloss with any purchase, so pretty cool. Okay, so the idea behind this formula is not only can you wear this on its own, just like as your foundation, it's something that you could also add to things. So let's say you have a foundation that you really love. I don't know, I'm just gonna grab one right here. This like Urban Decay Hydromaniac. This is totally not a full coverage formula, but let's just say like one day you just needed a little extra coverage. You're having a not great skin day, or you have a special event and you love the look of this, but you needed something with a little more coverage. This is something you could add a couple drops to kind of boost the coverage factor of your foundation. Now, this is also something that if you know, just want to, make your moisturizer a tinted moisturizer, this is a great product. So you can keep this, you know, in your bathroom alongside your moisturizer, your SPF, and just drop a couple drops in with your SPF and apply it, and you basically have a DIY tinted moisturizer. So in that regard, I love it. I love how the formula is really adaptable. Something to note is it is only 0.43 fluid ounces. It's not even a half an ounce. Most foundations, as you probably are aware, are a full fluid ounce, but this is not. Now, with that being said, you do use so little of this because this is just straight pigment. There's no skincare to this. There's no hydrating. Like, it's just a pigment. It's very hard to explain if you've never tried something like this, but just to be aware, this is not something that is going to, it's not a hydrating foundation. It's also not an oil controlling foundation. It's just a coverage. So just something to note, you don't need much, and it will separate as well. You'll probably see in the demo, after a couple days, if you haven't used this, it does start to separate, and there's like liquid at the top and then the pigment at the bottom, although it says it's oil free. So I just want to kind of throw all that out there. When it comes to the clean aspect of this, I will say I like to go off of what the Environmental Working Group's Skin Deep app tells me in terms of a product's safety rating, and this product scores a 2 out of 10. That's really, really good. I tend to prefer my products to be a 5 or below. I like to be as close to 0 as possible for most of the things I use, especially the stuff that's going all over my skin every day. So for being a 2, this is excellent, an excellent safe option and a great price point if you could just, you know, cannot afford these $40, $50 clean beauty foundations out there. I don't blame you. It's really expensive, even for me. So anyway, that's my piece on the clean. As far as the how to apply, NYX recommends that you apply this with a brush. So typically when I do foundation wear tests, I will do split faces and I'll do brush and sponge. I didn't do that with this because I felt like because the formula is so liquidy, I felt like a sponge would just absorb all the coverage. We'd have nothing left. My computer's gonna die, oh goodness. So I only used my normal go-to big fat foundation brush to apply this. So I don't want to say too much more about this. I think the application and the wear test will speak for itself, but that's the gist on this formula. I hope this is helpful for you if you've been trying to find a clean foundation out there that's affordable. I hope this is something that might work for you. It's definitely not for everybody, I don't think, but we'll see how it looks at the end of the day. So let's just roll into the application and see how it goes. Thanks for tuning in. I don't know if I talked about this in the beginning, but when this sits for a few days, it gets the weird separation. It's kind of weird. I don't know how I feel about that, but whatever. So I'm gonna shake it up and we're gonna just do the application like I would normally do, which is with my big Tarte Buffer foundation brush. So let's do this. This is shade Beige, by the way. Let's just put it on my face. I've only used this a few times. It has the weird taint smell. I don't know. And when you apply it, it feels like not moisturizing, not dry. It literally just feels like pigment. It's really like slippery, like silicone-y. I remember the very first day I used this, I was like, wow, this initial application was really bad. I felt like it was gonna be really dry. And then like within an hour or so, not even, maybe by the end of the time my makeup was done, it actually kind of came together. But then I just didn't really use it too much again because I was kind of just, I was kind of just not in love with it. But I did want to talk about it because it's new and it's affordable. But it does, okay. It is really catching to the dry patches on my skin, and I am pretty well hydrated, both from a water perspective and from a skincare perspective. So I'll try to get a little closer, but I'm having some acne healing, but it's not catching on other foundations I have. This is catching like on all the little dryness areas, and I didn't even put it near my eyes because I'm doing this new thing where I'm not applying my foundation near my eyes. I'm only putting concealer to kind of lessen the chances for product buildup increasing. But I would say that gave me solid light medium coverage. You're supposed to be able to build this up very easily, so we're gonna do that. I mean, these are my usual areas of extra coverage. So I will say you use such a little bit. So let me just pat it in now. So even though the bottle I think is only half an ounce, yeah, not even half an ounce, 0.43 ounces, I would imagine this would last you just as long as a regular 1 ounce bottle of foundation. All right, well, not my, I guess the second layer got me to pretty much full coverage, I would say. I think the match is pretty good. It just looks, it's catching. It's definitely not the most flattering on super dry skin. This might be something, if you're really dry, that would work very well if you mixed it with your moisturizer and made like a tinted moisturizer out of it, but I don't know, it's just really confusing me. I don't know how I feel about it. But anyway, let's finish up the rest of my face. I wanted to use the new Tarte Shape Tape Concealer that I have that, full disclosure, I have to get a different shade of. I don't know where, oh, here it is. Because this one I have in light medium sand, which is the shade I normally use in regular, is too light. So if you've been thinking about this ultra creamy one, go like 1 or 2 shades darker than you think you need or would use from your normal one. Because it's just running too light. But I'm still gonna use it because it's new. But I will be doing a full review once I get the right shade for me, so stay tuned for that. I'm having a hard time identifying who this is best for. Is this just best for makeup artists? They're not advertising it for that. Like, they're advertising it as if it's a foundation, but I don't know if I love it. Like, it's weird. It is so polarizing right now because although it did initially catch to the dry patches, and it's something about it quickly adapts. It's like it initially applies not cute and you're like, oh my gosh, abort mission. But then it kind of gets better. It's so strange. It is so, so strange. Okay. Anyway, I've also been doing a different technique to set my concealer because I have been struggling as I've gotten older. I am now 35. I can't just powder under my eyes with a little brush. I used to do that up until recently. It's just not working out. And then I would go to like the damp beauty blender, which doesn't do as bad of a job. But what I've learned, I was watching Instagram makeup artist I love, Rose and Ben. I don't know if you guys watch her, but she recommended getting these little powder puffs on Amazon. And what she does is she takes whatever loose powder she uses, picks it up on the powder puff, and then taps the excess onto the hand, the back of the hand, to evenly coat the puff, and then presses it into her under eye area. And I have been really enjoying this technique the last week or so because it is only applying the bare minimum of powder, and the pressing motion is, you know, not gonna disturb or like pull on the under eye skin, which just makes it look more flattering. And she has more drier skin, I believe. So, you know, when she did this technique, I was like, I need to try that because I'm not oily, but I'm not 20 years old anymore, and I need to be delicate around this eye area, yet I still don't want my concealer to crease. So how can I make this happen? And it seems to be working. So I'm not gonna powder the rest of my face today because I am afraid of what it's gonna look like. I wanna just let the foundation do its thing. I'm gonna finish my face and I'll come right back. Okay, so I'm all done the rest of the face. So a quick rundown of what I'm wearing. On my eyes, I guess we'll start. I am still playing around with this Naked Wild West palette from Urban Decay. I will be doing a demo and review very soon. I just wanted to give it a little bit more time. I know there's a ton of reviews already out there, but I just needed more time to kind of play around with it and see how I really felt, like if this was something you really should take a look at. I don't want to say need because nobody needs makeup, but I just needed more time to play with it. My brows, as usual, is my Beauty Counter Brow Pencil in medium. All this stuff is always linked in the description box if you're ever curious. My bronzer today is the Ilia bronzer in Drawn In, the lighter of the two that they make. My blush is Beauty Counter Nectar. I wanted something that had a little bit of a sheen to it. This is like the perfect like clean beauty dupe for NARS Orgasm. It's like a peachy pink with a gold shimmer. I wanted something with a little more radiance because I do feel like I look really dry today. So I opted for that. My highlighter, again, going along the same lines, I wanted something to give a little bit more radiance and not as powdery. So I'm using the Ilia Liquid Light Serum Highlighter, dabbed onto the tops of the cheekbones really subtly, nothing too dramatic, really soft on the skin. And then the lips, I am using the Lawless Lip Pencil in Honey Rose, paired with the Lawless Gloss in Annie, a nude, really light nude. So that is what I have on the rest of my face. It is currently 10:30 a.m. So I typically wash my face and start getting ready for bed around 9:30, about 9 p.m. So we'll have a decent amount of time to see how this foundation is gonna look on my skin throughout the rest of the day. So I look forward to checking back in with you guys, but just so you can kind of get a better look of the skin. Right now, it looks decent, right? Like it does not look bad. I think the color match is really nice. I don't look like I'm wearing super heavy foundation, like I'm looking in my mirror and on the viewfinder. It's so weird. The initial application is really glitchy is what I want to say. And again, definitely not for somebody with very dry skin. I just can't. Unless maybe you apply it with a damp beauty blender. I don't know. I also just feared with the damp beauty blender that this would have just sucked, like the beauty blender would have just sucked it all up because it's just so watery. I just didn't want to do that application. So I don't know, guys. It's one of those formulas that I wanted to just immediately love it because the price point at $14 is so attractive, but it's one of those things we just kind of have to see how it goes. So check back in later.
Okay, so we are doing the final check-in in my bathroom in that natural nighttime light. It's about 8:45 p.m. right now. I do these because honestly, when I go into my makeup room at night and the light is all artificial, not that this isn't, but like there's so many big bright lights in there. Sometimes I feel like it's not as raw, like the footage isn't as raw. Things look nicer than they might in real life. So I feel like there's nothing more honest than your bathroom mirror at the end of the night when you're getting ready for bed. So here we are. And it's so weird shooting on my phone. I did this with my last foundation video, the Merit one, Merit Beauty. And I had to keep remembering to look at the camera, whatever you know what I'm talking about. Looking at the camera lens, not like at myself. So I'm staring at my bathroom mirror and try to keep this in shot. So honestly, I feel like it looks decent for, what are we at? Almost, I don't know, between 10 and 11 hours, something like that. On the camera here, it seems like my blush and bronzer is more faded than it is on my mirror. But I will say, guys, I don't look that shiny. Like my face, my forehead is not shiny. My cheeks do not look shiny. My nose is all broken down. This literally literally happens to me in every foundation video, no matter when my skin was super dry or super oily. So I got a little flaky here. As far as what I did today, I didn't do too much. I did go to the grocery store, so I had my mask on for a little while. But otherwise I was only awake for, I only slept for 3 hours last night. Don't even ask. So I was really, really tired today. So with that being said, I didn't have much activity. I didn't do a workout or anything like that. So, the makeup didn't have to hold up through like anything catastrophic other than a mask for a little while. But in terms of, here, let me put you on this side for a sec. In terms of it lasting 12 hours, I would 100% agree. And I always like to look at my blush and bronzer as like a telltale sign, like, has this held up? Is it holding onto the pigment? Yes. Is it ashy? No, I cannot say it's ashy. Is it, what was the other thing? Grease proof or something like that? Yeah, for sure. I don't feel greasy at all. And if you look up close, it doesn't look bad. Well, I don't know. There's just something about it. I think it could look a lot worse for $14. This is where I was really like catching onto the dry patches from like my breakouts healing. But let's be honest, the coverage held up. Can't be mad about that. I feel like this is pretty damn good. It's just such a strange initial application in terms of how bad it looks when you first apply it. But like you have to just give it a minute or two and then it just looks decent. I would almost say good. I had done a brief check-in on my Instagram page when I had applied it and just went in natural light and it looked flawless. Like it literally looked like I was airbrushed and had a filter on, and I did not. So I don't know. I feel like I have to say I like this because the camera doesn't lie, but just kind of be aware of that initial application might not be exactly how it's going to look for the whole day. And I also still really truly believe that this is not a formula for people with very dry skin. So with that being said, maybe that's you. If you've tried this, let me know what you think. Otherwise, I will link everything I was using earlier today on like the rest of my face, plus this NYX formula down below. And I hope this is helpful for you guys. So I'll talk to you soon.